with all the political talk these days, I have to put myself in a space where I actually care and I have to look at these things. You guys are probably just like me, and you're probably thinking, why do I care about this next election? And so I've had to take time and really think about what do I want out of my next president? Because at the end of the day, we do live here, we are citizens here, and the things that they do directly affect the way our states, operate and are governed, which directly affects us. And so if I'm looking out for my best interest, I need to choose the right president. I need to vote for the right president that's going to benefit me. I'm just going to share with you what I'm considering, what I'm looking for out of my next president, and maybe this will help you guys figure out how you should be voting. Because I know when I was growing up as a child in public school, it was kind of like, if you're a Democrat, you vote everything Democrat. If you're a Republican, you vote everything Republican. And as I get older, I realize it's not that black and white. We're all trying to accomplish something, and the people that are going to help us accomplish what we're trying to accomplish, those are the people that we need to be pulling strings for. So today I'm just going to kind of walk through what I'm looking for out of my next president. Let's get into this, guys. What's up? It's your boy Sawan Belcher. This is me taking action. Typically here we're talking about real estate and how to make as much money as possible during the 30-day period of time while you cherry pick the very best deals for yourself. And it's election season, so I wanted to go through and just kind of think about what I need out of my next president so we can go in and make a great decision on who we choose. And so when I think about what I need and what my goals are in the future, I instantly go, to my business. And I was thinking last night, really, how can the government influence my business? And I took time to really think about it, because some people will just won't really understand, or won't even take the time to think about it. But in COVID, in particular COVID, there's a few things that happened. We got huge incentive from the government just because I had an EIN versus social. Now, because I did have a social and because I had kids, I was able to get that monthly, whatever it was for the kids, additional, right, for the household. And that was great. But, and I want to say it was like $800 a month for each child or something like that. During that same time, for our business, I was able to get like a one-time, I think it was like a one-time $50,000, like grant. And because I had a business, and then also because I had a business and I provided housing, I was able to get another grant that I didn't have to pay back as well. And so that was really like, I look back on that thinking, if government wouldn't have made that decision, I wouldn't have been able to benefit from that. And so I instantly start thinking about how the government can help me get to my goals. And so the first thing I start thinking about is my business. So my employees and the people that work for me. And one of my goals is to build new construction. And so I really want to get it into doing more new construction because there's not a lot of, like housing that's available, and what is, you pay a little bit more than you should pay for. And by the time it's fixed up, it's harder to keep as a rental because of the loan to values and interest rates right now. But whenever you do a new build, you end up paying the same amount after it's done, and if you were to keep it, you're not going to have any maintenance, at least for the first, 4 to 5 years, because everything's new. And so I like that idea of being able to create the inventory versus, kind of having to fish through the inventory. So I was thinking, well, what can the government do for me on that particular end? I personally would love to see some kind of like incentive for, for builders, to build new construction. And that would really help my business. Now I also was thinking, I really love paying my guys. So out of my business, one of the things I love doing is I get fulfillment out of helping my guys and paying my guys and making sure everybody is, I have work for everyone. I really get that. And so of course, you know, them helping me do those new bills will help me do that. But also with taxes, whenever there's like a tax thing that changes, you know, I don't know how to, you know, like I said, I'm not really a political person, but I know taxes change things. And let me give you an example. When the opportunity zone thing dropped, it was crazy. So all the states got these opportunity zone maps. And I took maybe like 2 hours to look at some videos and understand what was going on with the opportunity zones. And essentially it had created like a whole department for each state and said that, hey, if you guys focus on buying property here and you guys fixed it up and you guys rented it out, then you wouldn't have to pay taxes here if you kept the property for 10 years. And that was like a big deal. So I literally launched like a whole marketing campaign towards houses, you know, towards owners who had properties in these areas. I had another marketing campaign directed towards people who had money to let them know about this particular law. And then that skyrocketed our business, and it really helped me with payroll, because on top of doing those deals, I was able to make money with those deals, but also the taxes were deferred from those particular deals. And so it really helped me out with the payroll. So payroll is kind of important for me, because I have, you know, I don't have the biggest team right now, but I really can say that I have about 15 people that really rely on me doing business in order to help their business do well. So payroll is pretty important to me, which of course means taxes are pretty important to me. You know, if we make $1 million and I'm providing the jobs, my people need me to make that million so they can get paid. And I would like to be incentivized tax-wise because I'm helping out the citizens of the United States. So I love that. Now, the next thing I start really focusing on is healthcare, because, you know, I have a big family vibes, you know. So we have 6 kids. We have 5 girls and 1 boy. And so we're from age 2 on up to, Amina is 12. And so I instantly, you know, I start thinking about my family and how, you know, and how I'm taking care of them and what, you know, and those kinds of things. And I know when I was at the car dealership, you know, even though we were making good money, I still was able to get food stamps for a period of time. You know, while we were pregnant, for every child, we still was able to get WIC and provide fruits and milk and all those kinds of things. And so that kind of stuff is important. Now, what I don't like about what I'm seeing right now is some of that food stamps, and I think they call it the SNAP program now. Some of that money is being dispersed to some people who aren't citizens. And so what I'm seeing right now is like somehow, some kind of way, I don't know exactly how or why, but in our local office here, they have a person that specifically helps people who are not citizens, get food stamps and rent assistance, you know, because they're not citizens and it's harder for them. And so for me, I don't really like that. I'm like, how? Because I know when I was coming out of the dealership, like I said, when I was going into the dealership from college, I dropped out of college, I needed those food stamps. I needed that WIC in order to take care of my family. And so I can imagine if we're supplying this rent assistance, if we're supplying this food assistance to people who are not citizens, who are not paying taxes, you know, this money, then I would imagine that there's somebody else that is a citizen that could use that money. So I'm looking at the healthcare. Okay, I'm looking at the healthcare like that. Now, more than just that, I also want to look at how we prioritize, but how we're taken care of when I go to the hospital. You know, one thing that I've heard thrown out there is that one thing that we're trying to get right now, or I don't know if we're trying to get, I don't know if the US is trying to get it or if this is something that's suggested, but one thing that someone was mentioning is they wanted universal healthcare. So, and universal means everybody has the same policy. Now, I guess it was about a month ago, maybe a month and a half ago, my son like cut his fingers. He almost cut the 2 fingers off. And because it was an emergency and because I was willing to pay, or because I had better insurance, we were able to like skip line, get my man in there, take care of his fingers, you know? But from what I understand is if we have universal health care, then it kind of is what it is. So there's no like hierarchy, there's no, you know, there's no priority. It's just, hey, take your number, sit down and wait. You know, you're just like everyone else. Now, me personally, I love the capitalistic system that I can pay my way up. It's like a shortcut, because sometimes I don't want to spend the time, the 2 hours or 3 hours, however long it takes in the ER to get, you know, to get this done. You know, that's not my style. You know, I want to be able to say, hey, look, here we go. Let's move forward. I'm out of there, you know? And so I'm also looking at the medical, you know, for my family. So I'm really interested. I'm really interested in seeing what kind of policies are going to be brought up that will help the way I take care of my family. And I'm really interested to see how they, you know, change things up with the illegal immigrants and giving them food stipends, because I really don't think that's fair. And then last thing that I'm looking for out of my next president is I want my freedom rights. Okay, I want my freedom rights. As a young black male, I want to be able to have the same opportunities as others. So recently, over the last year some change now. You know, we've been in our new property. I'm learning about all of these federal incentives, you know, for landowners. And so I've understood that, number one, nobody knows about this. Number two, there's only 2 people in your state that can actually tell it to you. And then number 3, because nobody knows about it, because there's only 2 people about it, typically it doesn't get to, you know, it doesn't get to our people. You know, it just doesn't get to certain people. So we just don't know about it. And so I really want to, what I need out of my next president is I want to see, you know, policies that reflect, you know, or that help minorities. Doesn't matter if it's, you know, black, Hispanic, Asian, Japan, you know, Japanese, whatever, you know. But I would love to see, you know, policies that help out with freedom, because at the end of the day, I think why the United States is so great is because you literally can come here, you can or be born, you know, you can create a business, you can make money, and then you can have something of your own. You know what I mean? So you can have your own land, your own house, your own car, you can have kids, you can raise a family, you know, you can sell a business, and you have this freedom kind of thing. You can, I can eat what I want, I can wear what I want, I can go where I want with who I want to go with. And that's kind of the freedom that we're all looking for here in the United States. We don't want a lot of restrictions on us. And so the next president, I don't want, you know, with respect, I don't want no rent cap. I don't want rent cap. I'm not looking for someone to restrict how much I can charge for my house that I'm putting somebody in. I don't want to be monitored. You know, I don't want to have to sign up because I go into a different state, or where I'm looking for, you know, I want to be free. You know, I want to be free. So as I learn about the different candidates that's up right now, these are a few of the things that I'm considering, and I'm making this video to kind of, I guess, influence you to really know what matters to you. What are your goals? What are you looking for? And then figure out, and then actually listen and read about the potential policies that could go in place if these people get into office, and then make your decision based off of that. Because at the end of the day, life doesn't happen to you. You know, life is what you create. So you guys need to start creating. Peace, y'all. See you on the next one.